recorded. Just what screen I'm presenting here, so no faces, nothing on the Google Meet. You're more than welcome to talk, ask questions as need be. All fine there. Looks like we got Victoria coming in. Perfect, we're just about to get started. Just to let you know, we got a Google Form attendance link in the Google Meet chat, just to kind of help keep track and actually keep something like that on file. But yeah, being recorded, just this presentation screen here, nothing else on the Meet. You're more than welcome to talk, speak if you have any questions. But other than that, let's get going on this. So today I wanted to go over the curriculum, things like tests, services, maybe opening those up for students, along with a new little feature we have going on, which is for weighted grading, as a few schools have been requesting that. So we've kind of got that going now as well. But to start with, gotta make sure we have anything set up, things like tests and services. In this case, I'm going to start with services here. Alright, so when you go in admin tools, services, and you can start, if you didn't have anything going on, start, add new service. It'll pull from the programs you had inputted before in your school setup. So in this case, we'll just do cosmetology. We'll put in test service. Now, along with that, name and program, you can set up to see if there's any state requirements for this particular service. So as you can see, we have things set up for theory, shampoos, hair cutting, manicuring, aesthetics, so on. If there was anything related to that service that was meant to be a state requirement as well and needed to be tracked for those hours too, you can set this up here. Anything to do with those state requirements come from your school setup into your programs, and then if you didn't have one set up already, you'd add, but in this case we'll head into edit, and on the second tab here, state service categories, and it'll only be set up specifically for that program. So all the ones that you were seeing before from that drop down, well, hopefully, I know the Google Meet doesn't really like drop downs. You're able to see all of what's been set up and then how many hours specifically for that category. Let's get back out of it this time. One thing with services, once they have been set up, you can actually go back and edit them, and you'll have a few new additions to it. So you'll have evaluation steps and the edit hours. So if you had just a normal hour requirement for your students to do, you can set that in here. In this case, 20 hours just for this zero degree haircut. But the evaluation steps are what I don't like that it hides in the edit, but this is where it's at. These are for very important if you're going to use our appointment program. You need to make sure your students are evaluated in a service before they're able to be available for clientele. That's just how our appointment system works. If they're not evaluated, they won't be able to be showing up at all, to be either selected personally or even chosen by your staff, your front desk ladies, whoever they may be, to get them more clients, get them more hours. You can simply just add any new step and throw it on in there. And change the order they come in, pretty easy peasy, and then delete as you need. And we'll go over where you can actually go put up an evaluation and do one for a student in just a moment. Back up once more, please. All right. Next is our
I got to
practical
protect
finals.
myself in my bottom drawer. I'll be right back.
Oh, don't you worry about
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud. I thought I was muted. Sorry.
it. Let's see here. So, we're going to go ahead, hit cosmetology, select your program, and then you can add sections to your practical final. And so you can add anything from here. You have your instructor intro, things that your instructors will be saying. Maybe it's just the basic rules. So, students will have 15 minutes to complete the section. Steps will, steps evaluated. And then they can list out every single step that they may need to say to the students or go through each deal there. Of course, you can set a time limit. This is just a timer truly in just a tracking sense. It won't stop the segment. It won't stop the practical once it hits 0. It's just mostly for your own tracking, for your instructors to say, hey, time's up, cut it here, and for them to keep moving on. Next, they can list out all the steps specifically for their practical, and then once they're all done, they can button it up with the save there. And we're gonna just do for this one, just so we can find it a little later. Alright, and then you can even just pop into another one if you needed to. Pop back in, you can see the old ones still sitting there ready to go, but just move, flow through as you need, fill them out. Check back through the admin tools. Minimum practical applications. With this one was specific for one of our schools, but if you were doing very specific small chunks for, or if your state required MPAs, we do have that option. It's found underneath our opt-in sections at the bottom. And we will actually be going another opt-in here, which is this nice little GPA policy, something new, something I'm excited to show you all. But yes, minimum practical applications. If you needed these on or off, quick, easy. We're going to keep them on for now. The school that we do have this set up for hasn't pulled in today, so I won't be going too much time into that. But you do have options for NPAs, maybe if your state's starting to require them, or maybe they do, and now you have options to pop on in here and start setting. You see required hours that you may have set before under that service, but now you can also set up required hours for your MPAs as well. Save at the bottom, but I'm not going to change anything this time around. Next of the big one for your curriculum are tests. Now, we don't provide My Lady questions specifically. We are making our own questions. We do have a lot of questions made that are based from the My Lady textbooks, so that way it's not completely alien. If you were to use our questions, your students will still be finding the same information from that book that you would with our stuff. But we can't sell our program with My Lady questions, like their questions specifically. That's just copyright. That's our whole deal there. But what you can do, if you need to set up your own questions as well, is at the beginning you'll see all of your programs that you had set up again at the school level. We'll just pop into cosmetology. The first level is going to be your book. So You can throw down the My Lady textbook if you wanted to. If you were going to take the questions and enter them in yourself, you're able to do that. So we'll do Lady test. Save that over. Now it's ready, good to go. We pop into there. It'll ask you if you want to edit or if you want to proceed to test. If you hit edit, it's simple, quick name, change, save it, or you can completely delete the book if you need it. And if you delete a book with everything else in it, it will wipe and eat the rest of that stuff. But we're going to go ahead and hit proceed to tests. Now we don't have any chapters just yet, so we're going to do new test. I'll put in the name, chapter. Chapter test. All right. From top to bottom here on your check mark boxes, we have is final. You can mark one test as a final at a time. If it's not one, don't have to pop it on or off. Just keep it unclicked. But if you were to make another final and click that one as the final and wondering where'd the original one go, it swaps over to the new one. So if you make more than one final, you got to make sure you're punching in the right one for maybe the right program, and reselecting that. And I'll show you how to do that as well. Is graded. If this one wanted to be a practice test, maybe you wanted a review test set up, you can actually mark if the test itself is going to be graded. You can keep it ungraded, have them pop in, take the test, study it up, do what they need to, and it won't affect their score, but they'll be able to see, they being your students, will be able to see what score they got on it still, what percentage, and how good they're doing on it. And then finally, forever on. Now, how we administer tests is you go and you either turn it on specifically for a student or for that whole class. When you click forever on, your students will be able to go into their test section and see this test forever. They don't need that permission from you or your instructors to get in here and take that test. So if you were doing a practice, you can easily pop in, pop out, let them run through it as many times as they want. So kind of nice, kind of neat. We'll save that chapter over. Now you can edit name again, but as you can see, edit name, it's very familiar to making a whole new chapter. So you still have your final, graded, and forever on. Finally, we're going to go in and hit edit questions. Now this is where it's actually going to be built, where your test is actually going to be added and constructed. So just again, test question. So whatever question you want to throw in there. The first box here is going to be correct answer. So I'm just going to do a test. And then not a test. You can have as many incorrects as you need for your multiple choice. You can make these technically true or false with just the two if you wanted. Save over. Rinse, repeat. Chop, chop down the line. Get them all going. Do we have a question? Are we all good?
Yes, I had a problem with this. My questions answers wasn't shuffled. How do you shuffle the answers?
So our system will automatically shuffle not only the answers but the orders of the questions it comes in. So you'll see it all uniform just fine. But when a student goes in to actually take that test, it'll be randomized for them.
For yesterday, and all the answers was yes. I mean, all the answers was 8 on a test that we took on there yesterday.
Oh, really? They just were all
Yes.
just showing the one answer.
Yes.
Huh. That is a weird one. We might have to peek in on that after this here because that doesn't sound right.
Okay.
Because it
Okay.
should.
And I can tell you which one it was on if you want me to.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll take a peek into that a little more. It should,
Okay.
again, it should mix up. It should randomize, not just the questions, but the answers for that question as well. So students can't just immediately memorize, and I mean, if they're memorizing the question and the answer, we consider that studying. They're trying to figure it out, trying to remember. So, last thing on it, we got print chapter. If you needed to maybe give a review, or if you wanted to hand out a paper copy, you're able to pull that out, print it out, and have them submit and everything as well. All right, so let's talk about actually turning on those tests real quick. What you'd want to do is from your home screen, pop into curriculum, and then tests. Then we have our turn on and off tests. You can also add, edit, and delete tests from here too. So if you needed to slip on in to the test section, edit those things, you can just get right back into it. Don't have to back all the way out and step back in. You'll start by selecting the program, then the book, followed by the chapter that you're presenting to them. You go ahead and hit next, and then you'll have the option to either turn it on for your whole class, or you can just have a few selected students. So maybe not everybody showed up that day, or maybe it's a few students needing to retake it. They can go ahead, fill out whichever ones need be, and then you can hit turn on. Once it is turned on, and I can show you, let me make sure I turn it on for an actual example student. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Cosmetology, we'll just do finals, no, fundamentals, progress. Select the student, this bad boy right here. And then you can select how long that test is available for them to get into. So if you're trying to if they're all there in class, you just want to get it going, 15 minutes. Just have it going right then and there. 30 minutes if maybe it was an after class thing, all day, if whatever fits your fancy on that. And then you can even still have it forever on from this spot too. But it won't change the test options or your settings back in the Cosmo Classroom setup, just forever on in this case. But we'll do 30 minutes just to give you a little time. And once we're there, students can log in, get on down, hit take test, and they can see right at the top, boom, start test. Start filling it out. They're going through. What's nice is that anything that I do outside of this screen, so I'm sure if I even click out, I click to my other screen window, something that was pulled up on another monitor, it'll boot you out. And when it boots you out, sign on back in. Should have me as a student still, yep, so we'll see. I don't remember which one it is. I think it was the professional image. But as you can see, it's now marked as abandoned, meaning that student moved away from that screen. Whether it was a call from their mom, whether it was because they decided to change something, they hit the home button, it doesn't matter. If they move off, they get kicked out, fully logged out. And now you can see yourself as an instructor or an admin that it's been marked as abandoned, and so will the student. Okay. One of the bigger things I wanted to show too was under our service here, We have our practicals, submit practicals, view evaluation. You can set up and edit them from here too, but those who are actually going to be doing, especially evaluations, are going to be your instructors. So, instructor homepage, we'll hit evaluate, check the program. We can select as many or as little students as we want to evaluate at one time, and then boom, start evaluation. We pick the evaluation we have set up, and then we're off to the races. Everything's marked as pass so that you can just mark on what's been missing, what they missed, and then any notes that you can add on to as well. Maybe things that they could do a little better, or maybe a little congratulations that they did it. They passed and they're good. And this is only done through the instructor screen. We were feeling that there was too much stuff on the admin side already, so instructors are the ones who are actually able to throw down the evaluations. Switch back to administrator, show off one more big thing, kind of the newer stuff right now. So in your admin tools, down at the bottom you have opt-in features, and this bad boy right here, this GPA policy, was our newest one that we've thrown in not too long ago, sometimes earlier this week, I think. What you can do is you can configure GPA policy, and we now allow weighted calculation. So you can weight certain graded aspects of your school now, whether it be attendance, theory, written final, practical evaluations, practical final, or service completion. You're now able to change that percentage and even go over. Even though now it's marking it red, you can now pick whatever you feel is more important for your school, and change how that's all calculated. If you don't, divide it up as you like. Cosmo just bundles it all up together, and as you see, it just weights it itself, which is totally fine, totally doable. But if you needed a change, or maybe you don't even want theories to be counted, or practical finals, or attendance, you can choose what to pick from and what is actually going to be weighted and graded for your students, for your class. Once you're done, you can hit Save GPA Policy, and then you can actually do this per student. So you head into the grades, services. That's not right. I thought it would have popped up here. It's not. Oh, program. Programs, where it's at. You'll now have the GPA calculations. So you can come in here and actually start to see exactly what record, what was possible for them to get, and what they actually achieved for that section. Attendance in this case, theory, you can see how much they're rocking theory, written finals, practicals, and get down to the nitty-gritty about it as well. The other thing too is that you can now use a very specific weighted calculation per student. So whether you're making a deal with them, or you need to tweak and change their weighted grading, you can go student to student and have a very specific setup for them. Have a very specific grade point average. Very, very nitty gritty if you needed to change something up for them specifically. Like if I were to take out attendance, theory, you can see it starts to change up above. Written final, disabled, doesn't start counting anymore. And then it'll start to push the new weighted grade once we actually get it fixed and set up. So if we did 20 here, 20 here, oh, not 40, 60, 60 here, we have a whole new, it'll start to calculate this out better, change up your evaluations, change up how it looks. Still getting that same grade point, but just depending on how you need to maybe get more specific with certain students. You can also just use current school policy and it'll pop it right back to the default. Let's see. Covers about everything. State categories in here, no. You can view evaluation history as an admin, able to check out what's been done recently, how it's been graded, click in, print whichever ones you need, go back, edit in. Maybe they didn't do so bad on that evaluation. Maybe somebody misclicked. You can come back in here, change as need be, update, add any new notes. Maybe you're redoing it yourself. You can pop in here, just re-edit the evaluation and get it going. This one's a little bit shorter, kind of more towards the end here. But any questions, comments, concerns? Feel like we're doing pretty all right. I think that just about covers it. Let me double check a few things on my own end, and we will see if we are good to go. Yeah. All right. Bit of a shorter one today. If you make sure you're signing that attendance, if you popped on in here, might need to figure out a way to make sure there's a way to tell if people are staying the whole time. But that wraps it up for me today. Gonna stop the recording here.